call the meeting to order. Please join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we do the library now? We'd like to do the library now. Is that all right? You? Great.
Sure.
Unless you want to stay till very late.
No, I'm hungry.
Go ahead, you're up. You're up.
All right, so I have not met all of you, but my name is, all right if I keep sitting?
Sure, go ahead.
Stand?
Go ahead.
I'm Dick DeRoche. I'm with the Gaffney Library. I'm the president of the trustees that oversee the operation and the finances of the library. So if you'll indulge me a couple of minutes, I just wanted to run through a few things. We haven't met with you as a board in, I think, a long, long time. So in the last years, you're probably aware, it has not been an easy one in Wakefield. And so we've kind of done a lot of thinking about the library and its finances. So one thing I just wanted to start off with is there's a very specific RSA that defines public libraries. And it tells you what you can do, what you can't do. And under that RSA, we are in fact a public library. We are the public library for the town of Brookfield by default, because we're providing you the service that a public library would provide. The thing about the library that I think gets missed sometimes is that it's just like any other town service. In the case of Brookfield, you buy that service from someone else. You don't have the library as not part of the town. That also is true in Wakefield. But we are the public library, and by law, as a public library, all of our services have to be free to all residents of the town we serve, in this case Brookfield and Wakefield. However, we are also a nonprofit, one of several in the state, where the building and the operation of the library is not a town department. It's still a public library, but there's some good reasons why, over the years, the Gaffney has stayed a nonprofit. The biggest reason is money. We can access grants. We can fundraise very differently as a nonprofit than if we were owned by the town. So my view is, for both Brookfield and Wakefield, having a nonprofit library service as your public library is a benefit. We raised all the money to expand the library, refurbish the existing building, which was built almost 100 years ago. Now it has a brand new roof, all new electric, HVAC, all the interior has been redone. So we basically got a refurbished 100-year-old building. But what we're not is we're not a charity. We're not like the Cancer Society where people make donations. We're a nonprofit business. What we have to spend on our operations is only what we receive from the two towns in the fundraising that we do. As a nonprofit, the towns get great service. We can accept gifts and access grants. And other big reason is the facilities themselves, the buildings, are not a burden to either town. We raised all our own funds to refurbish that building. We raised almost $1.7 million to refurbish the building and to build a new wing. So just wanted to run through real quickly 3 kinds of costs. It's very simple. Our cost system is very transparent, easy to understand. We have the facilities themselves, so what does it cost to keep the buildings open so that we can use them to provide the service? You know, heat, electricity, insurance, etc. Then we have the payroll cost, which is our largest cost item, the same for the town, I'm sure. Then we have the programs and the materials that we have, books, online services, all of the things that we provide to the public. When we put our budget together, we're not an organization that takes last year's budget and adds 5% and says, "Look, this is what we are." We look at only actual costs. That's what drives the budget. Regardless of what's in the current budget, we look a full year back, take a total of a 12-month period, 6 or 7 months of the current year, and then base all of our projections on cost on those actual numbers. We have to adjust sometimes for things like cost of fuel. We generally know in advance what that's going to be for the next year, and we adjust our heating cost upward. The thing that we've done this year is, after many years of hearing many people, our patrons, tell us we need to be open more hours. We're going to, the hours that we are open are on the low side by comparison with most libraries. We're only open 25 hours a week. We're going to move that to 30 hours next year. That's a 20% increase in the number of hours. And we're doing that for 2 reasons. One, we need to stay open in the evening so people can get there after work. And we need to be open more mornings so that parents with young children can get their kids to the library in the morning and not in the afternoon when they need a nap. Last thing I'll say about the budget is we're very frugal. We spend all of the money that we receive, regardless of the source, very, very carefully. So, who did we serve in 2023? There's some statistics that Barry provided. One of our trustees, Tom Lavender, is a resident of Brookfield. We've had many other people from Brookfield that have served on our board. Just as a side note, the town is entitled to vote in your normal voting methods a trustee, one of the 11 trustees. Town of Wakefield, on the ballot every 3rd year or so, there's an item for trustee of the Gaffney Library. Brookfield is entitled to a trustee as well, although maybe no one knew it. Maybe we didn't let people know that that position could be filled. And it's not, we don't choose the trustee, the select board does. And the voters, yeah. So I think you've got the statistics. We, on record, about 315 active cardholders. And just this year, because after COVID, people got back to coming into the library again. We've had 21 new people sign up for cards. And through the current date, we've circulated about over 1,200 items to the, I'm sorry, I'm losing my thought here, to all of the people who come from Brookfield. So, what we're proposing is $18,000. We know that's more than what you've given us in the past. That's based on trying to get to the same formula that the town of Brookfield and Wakefield have worked out on other services. This is a service like any other, and 18,000 is more than what we've received in the past. It's been flat funded for a number of years. So that's what we put in as a proposal. There is a cost to run the library. We want it to be shared equally by both towns, not equally, but on a pro rata basis based on population. That number would be higher than if we use the same percentage that is used for the transfer station and for fire, police, rescue, would be higher than 18. So that's where we're at. We are a nonprofit, but we're not a charity. We're a business. Whatever comes in the door, that's all we have to spend. And so we would request that the 18,000 this year and see where we go in future years. Thank you.
Okay. Questions?
No.
Some observations? Looks like your budget's going up about 50% this year. That's what your overall expenses are going up 50%, is that about correct?
50%?
50.
No.
From 18 to 258? From 180,000 to 258?
That was one of our presentations to the board that the town of Wakefield actually approved.
So what is your budget going up this year? The numbers here look like 50%.
I don't know what you're looking at,
I don't
so I
either.
can't tell what,
Looking at it.
but our budget is not going up 50%.
That was, you emailed.
The amount that the Wakefield Selectmen approved was $199,250.
Yeah, I was
So
looking-
you have probably, the one we submitted to you was before we met with the Wakefield Selectmen.
I'm looking at the data you gave us on bottom line expenses, it's up about 50%. On the data you
Well,
gave us.
the numbers I'm looking at is requested approved budget in 2023 was $229,000.
Fair enough.
And
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
we're now going to be at 243, so that's up
10%.
10%.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's much more reasonable.
So you're looking at this 169, is that what you're looking at?
I'm looking at the year 2020 as opposed to...
Oh, 2020.
Right.
Oh, okay, all right. 177 versus the 258. Is that
So
what-
the other thing I'd be curious in is maybe a little bit more visibility into your expenses.
What would you like to see?
To be specific, your payroll data.
Okay.
I mean, I'd like just to see what your hourly rates are and how much people make. Compare that against what we pay our folks.
Well, that's public information, so
Yes.
I'm happy to provide that. I don't have it with me and off the top of my head. I
That'd be
know,
helpful. I mean, if you're way out of line with respect to what we pay our folks, then it's a tilt. If it's close, then it's understandable, right?
Okay, so off the top of my head, just so we're not losing the thought, currently the children's librarian makes $15.50 an hour and works 31 hours. I'm sorry, 26 hours. Our circulation and an assistant director, I believe is around $20 an hour. And our director currently makes $53,000 a year for a full 40, 50, 60, whatever, she's on salary, so however many hours she needs to work a week, she works.
And how many employees do you have?
That's it.
So those three make up the payroll and taxes line.
Yes.
Okay. You guys have any questions?
I think if we might add, we did this year go out and compare our library with other libraries in our population area. So we have access to information, that kind of information. So we sorted our libraries by population and compared our library to others of similar populations. Some of them were used in the wage study by Wakefield. And we found that we were I've suspected for a number of years, we're way lower than most libraries. So we also tried to adjust that upward a little bit in this budget so that it's fairer. And then also, as Dick said, when we compared our library open hours to other libraries in our population size, those hours go mostly from 35 to 40, and we're only open 25. So that's another reason for the increase, is the increase in hours.
The primary reason for the increase is the hours, because people only get paid for the hours they work. Barry, as the director, is on salary and works more hours than she should, and the others only get paid when they work. So if they're homesick, they don't get paid.
Okay. So the impact on the budget, if you didn't get fully funded, would be your hours that you're open.
We would have to revisit that, yeah.
That's your variable.
Well, that's our variable, or also our services. What we don't want to do is have to cut those, particularly the online services, but particularly because of COVID. A lot of people got very used to using the online services that we offer. So with a library card, you can go online, you can get books, you can get access to several databases, so you can, a lot of what you used to do in the library, you can now do from home. A lot of people are now coming back because they like the idea of coming in, the interaction with the staff and all that, but that's gotten more costly. Every year it goes up. We want to keep doing that because people like it and they use it, but that would be the other thing we would look at. Is there's certain things we can't cut, like the operating system for the library itself, so we can check out books, keep track of what's in and what's not, that sort of thing. We obviously have to run that, but we don't have to offer as much in terms of the online services for getting access to books online and audiobooks and that kind of thing. But those are the services that people want, so we clearly don't want to cut those. And we don't want to have to cut the hours, so that's why we have asked both Wakefield and Brookfield for more money.
Okay, got it. All right. Any other questions?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, well, good, we'll consider it. Thank you.
Can I ask one question? Of Beryl, and I'm sorry I don't recall your name.
Dick.
Would the current budget that you're pitching tonight bring back the adult learning program?
Yes.
In a certain fashion, but not the way it was before.
Okay, thank you. Could I make a public comment?
Sure.
I did a little math on the impact on the town taxes if the $4,000 increase went into effect. And it would be about 3 cents on the 1,000.
Yep.
So for most people, that'd be less than the cost of a hardcover book, a couple of trips to Starbucks, pretty poor bottle of wine. So I want to urge the selectmen to increase the budget.
Okay.
We've had more people in town, obviously expenses have gone up. I think it's a very worthwhile use of my tax dollar.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Susan.
I'm not the math person that Jen is, but I would just encourage you to do that too. I know I am in the library at least once, if not twice a week. They tell me when new books of my favorite authors are in, and they save them for me, and I can go pick them up. And during COVID, it was a lifesaver. I could go and pick up my books from the driveway or the sidewalk kind of thing. And it really, while I don't have little kids anymore, when I'm in there, I see kids all the time. Even, high school students and middle school students are in on the computers, and the little kids have programs. So I really encourage you to meet their request if possible.
Okay, thank you.
And I think too, because of our rural nature, we really try to offer the kids the opportunities that they might have in a more urban area. So, for instance, right now we have a robot that the kids are learning coding on. They're learning to move the arms of the robot and learn coding. So those are things that we can offer with the budget that we have and provide our students with opportunities. I think that they need to compete as they move forward in the world.
I'm also very supportive of the library. It makes all the difference in my life. It's the only accessible educational opportunity in Brookfield. And I've been belonging to a book group since I moved here, which was 30 years ago. And the library will gather books for us to read so that we don't have to buy them. They borrow them through the interlibrary loan, which is the absolute life of this program. And I believe there are other book groups also. But it's extremely important, both intellectually and socially. So I would hate to see the service reduced. I think it needs to be increased.
Thank you. The way this process works is we'll make our judgment, put it into the proposed budget, and present it to the town in March. And if the town doesn't like the number, if it's too big or too low, we can change it at town meeting. We've done that before. So we'll give it our best feeling for what we can afford, and leave it up to the town to make any modifications that they think appropriate. And whatever the town wants, selectmen do. I mean, that's the way it comes down. So.
May I ask a question relative to that?
Sure.
In the past few years, we've requested 16,000.
Yes.
Is it that your town meeting that reduced that to 14?
No, that's our recommendation, and the town approves it. It's in the budget. We go over the budget. 2 places at a hearing and a town meeting, and both places can be, well, at the town meeting it's official, but at the hearing it's a recommendation.
But the selectmen recommended the reduction.
Pardon me?
Did the selectmen recommend the reduction
We
and then presented it to the town?
we recommend to keeping it flat.
I see.
Yep.
I also support the increase, and I appreciate the tax information that Jen provided. But I would also say for anyone who's watching online, or for you, if you haven't been in the library in the last year since it's been renovated, it is terrific. I mean, it's really great. And I think we're a small amount of the card holders relative to Wakefield, but I think what they're asking for is proportionate for what the number of card holders are versus the total. So.
Okay.
I'd be
Anything else?
happy to give you a tour. Anytime.
It's really great.
One more. Mark?
Do you question the comparison of what they were being paid to work there versus what you pay people in this town?
Yes.
I don't think there's really any comparison. It's apples and oranges. We don't have a library, that type of staff to compare wages. I mean, they're not going to make the same selectmen or the tax collector. I don't think you can use that comparison.
Okay, thank you for your input. We're going to wrap this up. We've got a half hour. We've got the info. We understand what's on the table. So we're going to move on to the next.
She had hand up for a
She
while.
did.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it.
I just wanted to
Oh, I'm
say,
sorry.
that's okay. I just wanted you all to consider, since you'll be the voice going to the town hall, that a library, especially in such a rural community and small town as ours, without a place to gather and learn and grow and connect, and a safe place for children or adults of all ages, whenever you move to a community, the library is where you go to find out what's going on. And we have this amazing space now. It's a space where people have group gatherings of certain clubs. There's no other place in Brookfield like that. And so we are so fortunate that we are tied onto the Wakefield program for this library. It provides community, opportunity, information, connection, and gathering that as a rural community we do not have. There's no other place, no other choice. You don't gather at a coffee shop, there's nothing. So we're so blessed and fortunate that this building is amazing and the staff goes out of their way to do everything from arts enrichment to getting you a book to allowing you to have a group gathering. It's really a gift that we should just really take advantage of, and I just urge you to care about the library, because if you move today, you would go to a library to say, how do I do this? How do I meet someone? What's there to know about the town? That's what you do when you move. And so as we grow and blossom in this town, we get more and more people, and we want to connect now, and there's so much happening, and we're progressing, and it's just such a gift. So, and it's a safe place. You know, when you go in there, you see children in there that have no place to go. You have adults that might not have internet or a way to learn or connect. So it's just a gift that they've gotten this far in this building and with this staff. And you know, we're very fortunate that we're this little tiny group that can take advantage of this amazing gift. So I just wanted to share that with anyone who hasn't participated in the library.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on then. The next agenda item is scheduled approval of the meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the October 3rd Board of Selectmen meetings as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain? Any other public input? Jay?
Thank you, Mr. Selectman. Chairman, you have a very difficult decision to make about the library, but I do want you to consider my report now about the county. The county taxes are going up, and they're going up a lot. I don't know what they were last year. They were about 140, somewhere around there. They're up to 149,000 for us. Brookfield is a lot. Wakefield alone, I got a call from one of your selectmen because he wanted to know what is going on up at the county, because you're going to have to come up with $1.6 million for the county bill. So that's a big bill. The regional appropriations, those are the regional groups that come up to the county and ask for funding for their groups. Last year it was $450,000. Now it's $700,000 plus. They're also going to change they've already changed their policy, the commissioners. So now they'll allow those groups to also go to the towns. So now you're going to have groups coming to your town asking for funding, and also you're going to have the county providing funding. This is a big deal. Tamworth is being hit with a big one also. So the selectmen have a difficult decision on how to, balance all of this out, because it's serious. I only have one more comment. Last meeting, I heard that we had more town forest. It was called a preserve.
We don't have a town forest. We have some property we own that people refer to as a preserve. There's a specific RSA for a town forest, so we do not have a town forest.
Because it was my understanding that area was going to be used as a managed forest for revenue. I never heard it called the preserve before, so I didn't know where that came from. Preserve sounds like you're not going to do anything with it. There'll be no logging, no nothing. It'll just be preserved. I didn't know where that came from. So I thought we had owned something else I didn't hear.
They want to avoid the word town forest because of the implications.
What are the implications?
How you have to manage it, where the money goes, what you can do with it, etc. There's a whole RSA on if the town votes it in as a forest.
Okay.
We have more flexibility if it's not a forest.
And we don't have less flexibility if it's called a preserve?
No, we can do it, the selectmen manage it.
So it's
a
just
better-
a name.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
This is very quick, and no cost. Here you go. Judy Meekin has a birthday this month. Her friends and neighbors got together and purchased a bench and for her, and she would love to have it placed at the town hall because of the schoolhouse that she attended from kindergarten to ninth grade. I've put information here. It's all-weather poly wood. She would like to have something to the effect of Judy Churchill Meekin with a quote, "The influence of a teacher on your life will never be erased." And it's in honor of one of the teachers that's taught at the schoolhouse. I've included the specs and a suggestion for where it might be placed. The intent is to have a space where neighbors who are coming to town hall might want to just chat with neighbors while they're here or have a place to sit down. I think it could also be used for the events like the ice cream social and so on. So we're just looking for your approval. It was paid for. It would be a donation to the town. So I'm looking for a reaction.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
Mark, you can handle it.
Yes. Got my Spectrum bill the other day and reading through the notes, which most people don't read. Says the franchise administrator for the town of Brookfield is Bob Leonard. He's been deceased since like 2006. So I think maybe that should be updated. Okay. And there's copy of information
Which one? Oh, from Spectrum.
from Spectrum.
Spectrum. Yes.
Think we should be updated with this
Yes,
live
yes,
person?
yes, we can hit on with Spectrum. Spectrum is the internet company for this half of the town, for people that don't recognize that. And we've done a lot of work with them, trying to negotiate new franchise agreements and update records, and they are not very interested in participating with the town. But we'll tell them again.
Okay.
We'll tell them again. Anything else? Any more public input? All right. Let's go to our agenda.
Oh, can I add a tidbit of information? Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
I just wanted to add that the nursing home has agency nurses because they can't find anybody to be nurses up there. The agency cost for the county last year was approximately 400, a little bit less than that. It is over $1.6 million. That's the major cost of, or the reason for the jump in the taxes. I just wanted you to know that. Thank you. Thank you. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I'm trying to digest it. What you're saying is they
Yeah.
can't get employees at the rate they're paying.
That's correct.
No, well, no, they just did a wage study. They did
Yes.
a wage study. So they're going to determine if the reason why they can't find nurses is because of the pay. But they have to pull from agency. My point was that agency still costs more money. But they haven't, they still have to come up with extra money. They're still paying $1.6 million out. It's not established that it is the reason why they can't get nurses is the amount of money they're being paid. That has not been determined yet.
The point being, though, that they can't get them, and they have to go to these agencies. to
Correct. This is
satisfy
happening throughout the nation, but I'm just saying it's still a chunk of the reason why our taxes are going up. That's all I'm explaining.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, boards, department, let's have some committee reports. Road agent, you want to go?
Sure. The past couple weeks, started mowing some of the roadsides, and we finished up some of the work on Pleasant Valley Road to make it ready for paving. And this past week, or was it? Yeah, we filled in the well on the town property.
The one over in by the Hackett Cemetery?
Yeah, the one we was referenced at the last meeting.
Yep, yep.
Filled it with sand, so.
Can be-
One other thing I would say about that, there should be a gate there or something, rather than, right now it's blocked by bales of hay, the access to the field, and I feel like there should be a gate there. I don't know, whose responsibility that would be, but
Yeah, I
It's-
understand.
there should be a way of, if anyone needs to access it, they can without having to move the bales of hay, or anybody just being able to move the bales of hay.
Yes, the issue is that we have a wonderful field on town property, and people like to abuse it with four-wheelers, and Jeeps, and trucks, and all kinds of vehicles, and that's what we're trying to limit. So Alan Frederickson, who does the maintenance on the field, put his hay bales there to keep the people out. We've looked at gates, they're expensive too. Good ones, because they're back in the woods and they have to be able to stand up to
Yeah.
pickup trucks, etc. So, all right, thank you. Greg, you have anything?
Yeah, two things. Several months ago maybe, the boards approved the installation of a small exhibit of artwork that's been donated by a family here in town. Early artwork by Judy Brenner. You may remember it. In the next week or two, I'll be installing it on the wall, the outside wall near the entrance door.
Inside the building.
Yeah, yes, inside the building, yeah. But on the outside wall, not on the wall where the charter is, or not the charter, the incorporation is. And that means that there will be nails put in the wall. I usually use brads, so they're small. And they would be, when the exhibit comes down, if it comes down, they would be patched with spackle and painted over. Standard operating procedure for hanging pictures. The other thing is on October 31st, we'll be shredding on site roughly 45 boxes of records. Actually, not all of those are from the town. With the same company that was here either 8 or 9 years ago. So it represents that period of time of records. They've been gathered from all the resources in the town office building that I know of. And if anybody wants to come and watch, the time hasn't been set yet. But you can sit here all day and wait for them to come. It's a very interesting process.
Is it open to the public for the disposal of their?
If people want to, they'll be charged by the box. A large bulk of it, not half of it, but probably a third of it is my own papers being shredded, and I pay for my share. It's all calculated according to either by box or by pounds.
Could you quantify it a little bit for the public?
Sure, it can only be paper. Preferably, it should be in the standard banker's box like you get at Staples. They're about, they're the kind of box that takes letter going one way, letter size going one way, or legal size going the other. They're 10 inches tall, 16 inches by roughly 11 or 12 inches, I think. No, they can have paper clips, they can have, but preferably not. They can certainly have staples, but no metal binders that people very often use for large stacks of paper. Those are not permitted. And I've chosen to have it done on site, which has a minimum, we meet the minimum, so that I can see that what particularly the town is putting in there, it gets done in front of me. The other option, which is a little cheaper, but not that much cheaper, is you give them the stuff and they take it back and shred it, And basically you trust that everything got shredded the way it should be. And so anybody who wants to participate, it's a great way for cleaning out all those boxes of past back taxes that you've kept for 25 years and investment portfolio stuff that you've kept for 30 years. It gets rid of it very quickly.
And what's the cost per box about?
Uh,
Are we talking 50, 100, 10? I mean, we have-
Probably $2 a box, maybe a little bit more, $2 to $3 a box. I could be wrong on that, I haven't.
But in that range.
Yeah. The box typically holds 35 to 45 pounds, depending on how much you pack it.
Good. And that's going to be the end of the month? What day is the last Saturday?
October 31st, it's a Tuesday. I'm going to be available all day. I'm probably going to have to hire a kid to bring all the boxes down from upstairs because I can't do it. There's about close to 25 boxes up there, maybe even more than that, that are the town stuff. I'll be bringing my own stuff over in my pickup.
Okay.
Ginny usually participates, so I've got to give her a call and let her know. But anybody else?
Is there a time?
No, the time isn't set. They probably won't let me know until either the day before or the day of. So what I would recommend, I'll be here at 8 o'clock, and if people want to bring stuff, I'll take your name, your contact information, how many boxes, and then send you a bill.
Good, thank you.
Sure.
Is that something you think we would want to put on the calendar for the work site, or? Because it is open to the public.
Sure, I think we should have, that's a good.
I don't want it to be overwhelming either.
Well, I must say that on the contract, they do say that if they get here and it's much bigger, I told them 47 boxes. They could handle a few more, but if it was double that, then we'll have to reschedule. They won't have the time to do it because they have a whole circuit. They're going, we're booked for this part of Carroll County. So they'll hit here. It takes like 15 minutes to do a huge quantity. And then they're off to the next site. So I don't know about advertising it as the Lions Club did recently, a shredding event down in Milton, where anybody and everybody from Stratford and Carroll County was invited to bring their shreddable material. I wouldn't encourage that. I would let it go by word of mouth. I mean, if in the future you want to do something like that, we could, but then there's the unknown question of quantity.
Okay?
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, are there records upstairs that are being shredded? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Did the municipal records committee go through them, and did they follow the?
Yeah.
They did. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Shredded.
The Municipal Records Committee didn't exist when they weren't active, let me put it that way, when all of that was done by the town clerk, the town tax collectors currently pulling hers together, the supervisors of the checklist, they all used the 33A retention schedule to figure out what needed to go.
I just want to make sure they're properly dispositioned.
They are.
Conservation Commission, we have anything to report there? Okay. Forest Fire, glad to see you here. You have anything for us? Okay. Heritage Commission, they're meeting shortly, or did they just meet?
They just, we haven't met since, now it's been a while. We're gonna meet again probably just before the Christmas breakfast. Sound right?
Okay.
I have something on the heritage. Mary Lou received a donation of $100, and she was requesting that you would accept the donation and have it deposited into the Brookfield Heritage Fund. Do you need a motion for that?
Yes, but I always smile because did the donation indicate where the money should go?
I don't know because, anybody know?
If it's not in writing, if it's not in writing,
Does it say
She
to the
said-
Heritage Commission?
does the donation say heritage?
With a specific purpose?
No. It just said, well, it does say Heritage Fund, check.
That's good.
That's good enough.
That's good. If you don't do that, it goes to the general fund.
Right.
Donations come to the general fund unless you specify where they go.
Right.
So do you make a motion to accept it, or
I'll make that motion and accept it to the Heritage Commission.
Heritage Fund? Fund.
Heritage Fund. Thank you.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. When we get donations, they gotta tell us,
Yeah.
otherwise it goes to the general fund. Okay, I wasn't at the planning board meeting this past week. Can't make a report. I think I saw a subdivision of application came in. Guess I saw that, I watched it on the,
You watched it on GovernmentOversite.com.
at midnight. At midnight.
They went, can I give a quick report?
Sure,
They went
please.
over a subdivision application. I can't remember the map and lot, but that was accepted as presented. And they also worked very, very diligently on the solar ordinance, the solar installation ordinance, which I would very much encourage the public to attend the planning board meeting to help the planning board get that ordinance straightened out. That's it.
Yes, there's been a lot of discussion on are solar panels really allowed and accepted or sort of restricted and out of sight, and they're wrestling with that discussion. Where does the town want it to go? So they're going to frame something for the town to vote on to come in March, but their input would be helpful. Supervisors' checklist, you guys met?
We're all up to date. We had a couple new voters and some changes in your party affiliation that we met on October 7th, and that was a state mandated date. So we're all done for the year, except for our report to annually, our report that goes into the annual report.
You can tell me you don't have the number handy. Do you know how many voters we have in town now?
I could get it for you because it's in the kiosk. We printed a new list.
Well, I'm just, you know, how's the town growing is my question. You don't have to do it right now. That's just,
I can tell you. I mean, I will tell you.
just let us know, we'll report next time how the town's growing with respect to voters. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Tax collector Diana.
Yes, it's that time of year, again, where we're preparing to send out tax bills. I met with Rod Wood last Friday. He wanted from me a date that the taxes would be due. Tentatively, I gave him December 15th as a date. However, I want to talk with you a little bit today about the issue that we have with the veterans exemption. I feel personally that I have been left out of this loop completely, so I don't know where we stand as far as that's concerned. I don't know what the procedure is going to be and what you plan on doing. I do, however, feel very strongly that since this affects the veterans exemption, I would like to see, however this is going to be handled, a letter go out to all of the veterans prior to the bills going out, explaining to them the situation that we have in town right now. Maybe I'm saying this from a little bit of a selfish standpoint. I don't think so. But number one, veterans are very, very proud of their service to the country. And look at the veterans exemption they get. In money-wise, yes, but also just in status to say, yes, I am a veteran, yes, I do get a veterans exemption. And I feel as though if how they are going to receive this veterans exemption changes from the way they usually receive it, there's going to be a whole lot of backlash to the town, and namely, basically, to the tax collector. Because no matter what happens, and no matter who's to blame for, or anything in town comes to the taxes, it's the tax collector, whether I'm responsible or not. That started in biblical time, we all know that. And so I would like to very strongly suggest that when we know how this situation is going to be handled, we, out of courtesy, let the veterans know prior to them getting their tax bill.
Okay. Thank you. I think that was the plan, to get a letter out with them. The situation is, the legislature changed the law either last year or the year before that required all towns to re-verify or re-establish their veterans credit. And if the town didn't do that at the town meeting, the veterans credit would default to $50. That's per RSA, and our town didn't vote on it, we didn't have it on the warrant. So the way we're going to deal with it is people will see a veterans credit of $50. The veterans will also see another abatement on the other line for $200, which is the remainder of the normal adjustment. So that they'll be made whole, but on two lines. And then at town meeting next year, we will, if the town approves, vote back in the standard deduction for veterans credit. Brookfield wasn't the only town that missed it. There's a whole host of towns that missed this new requirement that the legislature laid on us. So the veterans will be made whole, $50 with the veterans credit and an adjustment of another $200. And we'll have to detail that in the letter, because some people are hearing it now. We have to make sure everybody knows how it's going to work. And we have about 50 veterans in town to get a credit.
We have 51, and then we have 3 with the...
They're not impacted, it's just the standard deduction abatement. So that's how we have to deal with that.
I think it's important that we do that.
Absolutely.
That we let them.
Absolutely, there's no question, absolutely.
As I say, I don't,
Absolutely.
but I need to know also, of course, we have to do something about an abatement form that will handle that.
The details of it.
There's quite a bit of work to be done.
We've got a list of the 51 veterans.
Yeah.
We're going to put that number into the assessing system. We'll sign an abatement with that 51 names attached to it, give it to the tax collector, so that you can adjust the taxes before the bill goes out.
Let's see, the warrant can come out just fine, that's what I told Rod. The warrant, it doesn't impact the warrant.
Correct.
This happens afterwards, and the sooner I get it, of course, the sooner it can be straightened out.
Got it.
And Rod, I guess, I don't know, did he give that to you today?
No. We've been working with the attorney on this for a while.
Yeah, I know, but he was going to get it to you too, because he's going away. Huh?
Get what to us?
Excuse me?
I couldn't hear you. Get what to us?
He's going, as soon as the rate is set, definitely he wanted to get that done.
He's going away. He will be back up November 1st.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
So we want to get that out.
Won't happen this week.
We want to get the warrant ready.
Won't happen this week. If we approve it, it still has to go to DRA, they have to bless it, it's not gonna happen this week. It's not gonna happen. We got time.
But the sooner, well, we've only got a month if I have to have them out by the middle of November.
Right.
I only have a month.
Right. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, town clerk's not here, treasurer, you have a report for us.
I don't, just the bills, that's all I have.
Is that this one?
No, the bank statements are in.
Oh.
I'm good.
Okay, let's do the bills, might as well do them now.
Okay. All states construction for $34,853.70. CAI Technologies for $3,000 for the support room.
Can we just, what was Allstate for?
That is the shoulder gravel,
Okay, thank you.
shoulder gravel.
Excuse
Central,
me, that's done now, Chris?
Yep, it was completed last week before last.
central fence and deck for the gate to the new cemetery, $3,547.
Has that been signed off by the cemetery
Yes,
trustees?
it has. I know she said they were gonna try to move it, it wasn't symmetrical.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
I,
she said she's been in touch with them.
I'd rather not pay
You wanna
that.
hold it?
I don't wanna pay that until the work's to our satisfaction.
I'll hold the check and then talk to Bertie about it.
You want me to just put a one line through this and say
No,
hold?
no, it's okay, I'll not hold it. Eastern Materials for $1,847 for several loads of gravel and Karen Savasic for her conference, how much is this? 300 something, was it? Oh, $345.04, sorry. Kindle Construction, $4,445 and $5,776. That one includes the renting of the asphalt roller, I believe, right, Chris?
Yep.
Yeah,
And the asphalt.
and the asphalt,
So the total on that is 10,221.83.
yes. Reimbursement to Linda Robichaud for $75 for the corn for the town barbecue. Mitchell Municipal Group, $202.50 for the Selectmen and $45 for equitable waiver, ZBA. Sandra Pace, food for the town barbecue, $51.39.
That money comes out of
The Heritage checking, that little,
Heritage.
how they call it.
Heritage, not general.
Not general. Staples for $66.60 for supplies. That's it, right? That's it, total of.
The total is $54,255.06.
And $126.39 for Heritage.
Correct.
No school bill this month? This
Middle of the month, so I'll wait till. I did want to ask about your next meeting, whether you want to do the 31st. It's free, or do you want to wait and go November? We do have payroll to approve, which would be the first of the month.
It's a symbol in November.
Be November 7th, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Which makes it.
Would it be an opportunity to do some budget work at the same time?
Yeah, my bias is to have the meeting, make sure, unless we get a lot of budget work done tonight, we're getting up against December 1st for hearings. So let's
Do the other.
wait until we do work tonight on the budget.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion that we accept the check manifest as read.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anything else, Joy?
That's it.
We'll get those later, okay?
Yep.
We have some communications.
Last couple of committees, trustee of the trust fund
Yep.
met this past week. They are set to have all the reporting done and everything into the DRA. They have the other thing they're doing is they're reallocating money amongst the cemetery trust accounts because there's a disparity amongst some of the newer accounts versus the older accounts. Only revenue is going to be moved on a pro rata share. There was discussion about a graveyard trust account to maintain more or less graveyards that have been abandoned. They would rather see that maybe done in another fashion because it would not be really feasible unless there was an inordinate amount of money invested as far as principal. The last one, did we talk about the ZBA?
That's next.
Or the ZBA met and.
I wasn't here,
Yeah, we did.
And we appointed a new chair.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
We ratified the hearing from these solar, that was ratified. And there's agreement that there's gonna be quarterly meetings, just to kind of keep the ZBA kind of fresh and up to date and keep everyone kind of in check.
And someone right by me.
Who's the new chair?
Doug Stefano.
Okay.
That was it, just want to get the last two.
Yep. So communications, we got the bill from the county, due December 18th. I'll give this to the treasurer for $159,705. That's up about,
I think it was 130.
yes, it was 130, 132, 131 last year. So you'll cut a check December for that.
Yes, yeah.
We don't rush it.
Yeah.
That we know. This was in our inbox. I hope you guys have seen it, so you're not surprised. But we have a code enforcement officer who is not going to work for us next year. December 31st is his last date on the job. And so we'll have to post something on the web looking for a new code enforcement officer.
Is that Mr. Angelo?
Pardon me?
Is that Mr. Angelo?
That's correct. And do we have any other communications here? We have this bench. You want to talk about a bench? I think it's a very nice bench. I'm concerned about where they want to put it, to be honest with you.
Well, the fact that it's not like anchored means we could play with it, you know, and if the winter time it's going to be better served to be out of the elements, maybe we bring it into the utility, or we can always bring it inside the place, or we can always get it up against the wall so it doesn't get hit with a plow, and then in the spring we can get it back out where it's more likely to be used. You know, the fact is, it's not going to be that heavy, it's not going to be anchored. I think we can play around with where we want it.
My concern is we don't want it to disappear.
Well, I think the good people of Brookfield can be trusted. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a problem. You know, if someone wants a bench that bad, then I wouldn't want to think they're going to steal a Churchill school bench, but.
I mean, and what would it take to anchor it so that it would be not stealable? I know that's my point, see what it would look like.
Yeah, you'd have to chain it to, like, you know, but if someone wants something bad, they're going to get it, so. I'd like to just hope that people are not going to be that obnoxious. And it's composite, it's not going to rot, it's not going to take any maintenance, and I think it's a nice little addition.
There's no reason why either we couldn't put it underneath the tree that's a show, and then we could even put it over.
That's where they're
If we didn't like that, we could move it over by the
That's where
library.
That's where they're proposing, right?
Right.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm saying if we want to get it out of the harm's way during the winter, that's fine, or whatever. But I'm fine with it, so we need to make a vote.
You want a motion on that? I'll make a motion that we accept the gift of the bench presented and set it up outside.
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll abstain on that one. That's all of that communication. So the last thing we have to do is set our tax rate.
We got 2 plow bids in thus far. I got 1 written or 1 electronic.
We did get an electronic.
Yeah, I just got it. We'd like to get them in no later than the 25th, because we want to make sure that's in place. So it'd be plowing, shoveling, sanding, it'd be the parking lot, it'd be the walkways, and we'd want the parking lot and walkway sanded some.
Do we want to have the contractor do the sanding, or should we ask the road agent, when he has to sand our roads, to sand in here? Would that be crazy?
It's up to you. I would say that if someone included that in their proposal, that's probably part of their business model, so.
It's a line item. It's an expensive line item on some of them. So, all right, we'll wait and see. We'll wait until we get all, we'll wait and see. We might want to strike that, because they've been detailing out all the components of the work.
Mr. Chairman, is the EMD, I'm curious, the frequency of plowing in the parking lot, what the requirements are?
So far, the two bids we've had thus far are, one is every 3 inches, another one is based upon the rate of snow and the need to plow the roads. They would be doing kind of like the same rate as the road plowing.
Okay. Because it's, when we use the building as a shelter, when we have to, access is going to be important.
Yeah, so basically they'd be keeping on top of the storms versus the old way, which was kind of at the end of the storm.
Right.
The way I've been at least couching it is, primarily, anyway, mainly, plow, keep us open, and then at the end of the storm, give us a full cleanup. No reason to shovel every single time you come here at the end, shovel, but just keep us open. If that means a few passes just to keep things going, and that's great. At the end, do a full cleanup.
Thank you.
That's right. That's right. Go fire your computer up. The way this works now is we've given all our financial data to DRA. The surplus is what we didn't spend last year, what we voted on at town meeting, and we've adjusted our revenue lines, and they've come up with the proposed municipal tax rate. And because of a couple of variables last year, we got a lot of federal and state money. We had $200,000 we've taken out of the trust funds to do road work and didn't put any money in, so that's income. And we've had record low tax owings. In the past, we've run about $150,000 to $160,000 of taxes that we haven't collected, and we have to cover that. And what that means is that when we get a bill from the county, they don't care that we haven't received all the tax income. We still have to pay that bill. So we have to have enough money in the bank to cover that. So given our tax revenue was very good last year, we're down to $50,000-$60,000, which is very low for us. We effectively have some money to reduce the tax rate. So what Brian is doing now is he's logging on to the state website so that we can take a look at the municipal rate. We received the county rate, the state rate for education, and the local rate for education. They're not quite official because DRA hasn't signed off on it, but we don't modify those. That's a given. So we're gonna take a look at where we stand with respect to the municipal rate. And the first thing I want to ask Brian to do is tell us what the municipal, not the bottom line tax rate, what the municipal rate was last year. Then what happens is we'll decide on a number, we'll submit it to DRA, they will either say yes or no. So it's not official until we get notified by DRA that they've accepted our recommendation. So you'll hear numbers tonight, but it could change again if DRA doesn't like something. Hey, we're not doing it tonight.
Aaron, can you get in there on yours?
Yes.
Read it This is not cooperating. Yeah, good, I'll just take it.
It's the proposed budget that we're working on.
All right, so what do you want to know, Rich? I'm sorry.
What was our municipal rate last year?
Last year.
And we're gonna, we just say it aloud so everybody knows what we're working against on last year.
So 2022, let's see.
Not to my satisfaction, but it has.
I have to ask him.
So the municipal tax effort last year was $765,431, which led us to a rate of $5.86 per thousand.
So the 700,000 was the number that we approved at town meeting, modified by all our incomes. That was what we had to raise as an income against all our properties. And you assessed the value of the property down was 130 million, I think.
137.50
So it was 130
million.
million value of property in town, divided by what we had to spend, comes up with their tax rate per thousand. Now we go to this year.
You want to just know the county and the education while we're at it?
If you want, we don't influence it.
Well, I'm just gonna say, the county was $1.01 per thousand, education was $11.10, and state education was $1.26, just so we,
1110, you said, Brian?
$11.10.
And what was this?
126 from the state.
The state, that state is going away. That was the tax that took a lot of heat from the people down south because they were donor towns. Remember that discussion about being a donor town where they were collecting money and giving it to the towns that were poor? We were one of the poorer towns, so we collected that local 126 and we kept it in town to reduce our tax, to reduce the school tax bill. Legislature has changed the law. That is going away at 4% a year for the next X number of years until it's gone. So every year you'll see that number come down and the local tax go up because we still have to raise the money. So in our case, that was a negative. We're not going to keep that money anymore. It's going away. So you'd expect the tax rate in the schools to go up. Okay, so that was last year.
This year, tax effort's gonna be 773, 727.
773, that's because we took $200,000 out of the trust funds for the road and didn't replace it. And we shut down some trust funds for communications, 10,000. All our income took what we had in our budget down to 773 that we have to raise through taxes. And the assessment in town now?
Was 130, almost 133 million.
So that's a good number. All the building has increased our tax base. So if nothing else happened with all that money, with all that new building, the tax rate would drift down automatically. All right, so what do you got now?
The tax rate would be 582.
So write out 582,
Yeah.
582, which is down, if we do nothing, is down 4 cents from last year.
Okay.
But we have extra surplus money.
All right, right now we have a retained fund balance of 572,000, which is 18.36%. We've always tried to maintain at least a 15% in there.
We'll go for 17, that's what the state recommends, what, 8 to 17?
Yep, and we've always on the higher side. So right now, if we were to,
That is surplus money, I shouldn't use that word, but that is the money that was rolled over from last year that we didn't spend. So we don't spend money, or we have extra income, that goes into that fund.
so with $100,000 in there, all right, well, we'll stop at zero. All right, so if we start with zero, our tax rate would be,
The municipal,
what's showing the tax rate would be, it keeps defaulting to 100,000, why is it doing that? I don't know. Zero. Oh, why is defaulting to 100 when it's almost... All right, so now, there we go, now it's doing it. All right, so our tax rate right now with zero fund balance drawdown would be 1901, which is, I think roughly, we're at 1940 per thousand this year, so roughly 39% drop.
we don't control all of that number. That's the county and that's the 2 states. There's a number that we control, and that's the 586 that we vote on at town meeting.
All right, and that, fix your numbers, the municipal rate is 657 at 0%, that has $100,000.
Oh, it did already.
So the municipal tax rate with zero taken off is 657.
So without any buy down, is 657 against last year's
Yeah.
586. Now, if we take $100,000 worth of,
It has, then that'd be the number you just had.
then it goes to 582,
Yep.
which is down 4 cents.
You know, we want to just play with it, go to 200,000 just to see what would happen. I'm just, it would drop the tax rate down to 1751. It would leave us at 15.15% retention. It would drop the municipal tax rate to 507.
And I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that because next year, any funding of the road or any projects, we've used, remember, we've used the money this year. We've used our bank account. So next year, if we're going to do any work, it's going to be reflected in an increase to the tax rate. So my call would be to bring it down a little, so it didn't go up, but save some money for next year, because if we do road work or any projects, we have no money in the bank anymore. And we took the money out of the bank because inflation was so bad that what we saw, remember what we saw was last year we put money away, we could pave, with the money we could pave half a mile. Inflation hit us and the money paved a quarter of a mile. So it was crazy to put money in the savings account. With inflation, it was killing you. So we spent it. But now interest rates are up, 5.5%, so things are changing a little bit. It'll be time to put money back in, which means next year, if you look ahead, next year, our taxes should be going up. That's what I'm saying.
So we have more money next year to buy down.
That's right. That's when you want to use it next year, because trust me, people don't remember that it went down 1 year. They only remember when it goes up. So that's the way people are.
So at 100,000, our tax rate would be the, I want to calculate which one I could examine this. All right, it'd be 1826 per thousand.
And last year it was 19. You want to tell us what the county is and what the state is? You might as well let people know.
Assuming the same drawdown.
Pardon me?
Assuming that same drawdown.
We don't impact that. We only can impact the municipal line. Those other lines are fixed by the county process and the state doing exactly what we
Okay,
just
so
did.
that drawdown only applies to the municipal rate.
Yes,
Okay.
but it trickles down to the bottom for the gross rates.
The county's up to $1.20 per thousand.
Last year, you don't know what it was, do you?
You have it written down there.
Last year, okay, it was $1,
It was $1.01.
$1.01, so that's up 20%.
It's local education's $9.54.
Last year was 11.10.
The state education's $1.70.
We're down to 126. That's going away.
Yeah.
That's coming down. And the school board, not speaking for them, but they got a lot of federal money and state money this year too. I remember all kinds of grants were coming out. So I can believe that number coming down. I don't know why the county went up, but the county went up. All right.
All right.
So I'll make a motion that we use the $100,000 as the buy down number.
Yeah, I've been playing around with this thing for the past week, and I think that's the best number. Gives us enough reserve for next year, rainy day. But yet it still drives down the tax rate. So,
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. So you will tell DRA that's our number,
I'm gonna separate it.
and they will tell us whether they approve it, and then we have set the tax rate so we can create a warrant. They may get back to us tomorrow, and they may get back to us by the end of the week.
Do we know exactly when Rod's gonna be going away?
Nope.
I think he's gone.
He's gone, he left today, oh, Tuesday, what's today?
Today's Tuesday.
He left today.
He'll be back the 31st, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, the
So the
31st.
warrant has not been,
Mm-hmm.
the warrant has to wait for him to
Yep.
return?
But he said he would do it right away when he got home. He said he would do it right
I
away.
should
when
run
he
my
came
code, I
back.
didn't even think on it.
What we need, and Susan, I think we have the list of the 51 veterans.
Yeah, yes.
So that list has been created. If you would give that give it to me, I'll create an abatement request. And we can sign that next time and give it to the tax, because you can adjust the tax bills.
Yeah, I can't do anything until I get the warrant, so.
Right. And I'm going to ask Brian, could you try to draft a letter describing this process for our veterans? And you got to be careful on the words, because we're only allowed to give $50 veteran credit. And if we use the other $200 as a veteran credit, we're breaking the law, so it can't be a veteran's credit. It's got to be an adjustment of some sort.
But people have already received 100
The system will adjust.
125.
The system, Avatar system will adjust when we put the numbers in on the bottom line tax bill. We'll have to have a letter just describing this. I don't know whether we want to quote the RSAs or whatever, but if we have to, we can. It's just confusing as can be.
Yeah, I'll just keep it plain English.
I believe Avatar is going to help us do this procedure once we have all of our ducks in a row.
Okay. Good. Let's see what's on the agenda. Okay, we're going to start putting the budget together for next year. That's the next agenda item. So we're going to, Joanne, you ready to start working some of that?
I am.
And if you'd like to adjourn, you're allowed to adjourn. Because what we're going to do now is, you can watch Ed's tape, and we're going to be talking budget numbers.
This budget work.
You'll stay, right?
Yeah, it's just on it.
That's right. We're not, we're going to go on to
Well, you're gonna get $50 veteran credit, you guarantee, and then you, on top of that, the second line, actually, to compensate for the,
whatever. Be careful.
yeah, I'll play with it.
Sign off.
Right, yeah. And I met,
Get up close, Ed. Get up close.
no.
So will you see Cassandra have some of this tomorrow. She is sick again. She's sick again.
I don't know what happened over the last 2 weeks, I was away.
She had mono, but then she was better, and then she called me when she was putting the agenda together and said she was sick.
Oh,
So I don't know.
Did you come down to see her?
No. Yeah, that germ.
Did you come to see her? Did you come see Cassandra when I was away?
No, she wasn't here. Well, she didn't come in.
Yeah, I was gone 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Oh, I thought she was here.
Yeah.
I thought she came in.
Yeah, maybe she did. Was she here Wednesday?
Yeah, I just
She was
noticed-
here Wednesday, but she was gonna come in Thursday. She didn't.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just like, no, she's contagious as far as I'm concerned.
I know.
Mono, strep, all that stuff, I don't want anything to do with it.
These cards, right?
Did the request for budget information go out? And I missed it?
Oh, yeah, well, I don't want to.
Did it? Okay.
I said,
You got time, Liz.
No, I just,
yeah,
You should
I'd like her, I'd like to have it.
oh, you'll have it.
Okay,
I'll do it up this weekend.
okay.
It's very complex.
Yeah, Brad's budget's usually here. Wicked.
And you'll take care of my light, huh?
Yes. It's the one right over.
Yeah, down through the.
The other thing is we need.
I was going to see that.
Abby, have you had a chance to talk to Doug about the ZBA or? All right, I'm gonna poke him and ask him just to reach out. Of the notes, these are the notes for that ZBA meeting
There's none of that
finalized.
back.
You're not gonna stay.
Look, I'm not finding it. Yeah,
Final draft.
yeah, final draft are all done.
How do you expect to go high? I would send it specifically to him as the chair and say, this is what I got from everybody's input. From Susan. Here you go, I'll poke him a little bit. So you gotta get
You want to do that? No, next week, Friday.
They stink, sorry, Brian, they stink.
She has to ask her boss. You going
Okay, no, I'm sorry.
Are you going?
Yeah,
He's a
so-
tough one.
Fridays.
He's a tough one.
If it's, not taking it, just, I wish,
Well,
I
I
was
didn't,
sure.
they see.
No, she just sent me a
I think that's the last one.
It was fun, but I did.
You didn't,
It was fun,
he
but I
didn't,
did.
he didn't mention the checks. The,
I'm not a
Bills.
bills type of guy.
Yeah, yeah, same, but
He is all.
okay, so we ready yet? No. Okay.
Just checks, you wanna,
Yeah, I'll take the checks.
Yeah, those
Oh,
are-
yeah, okay.
we're still doing the bills.
You want water?
I'm all set, thank you.
Yeah, I guess the answer is yes.
I know. I did have, Mary Lou lost the receipt for Jan Ledbetter for the barbecue. So I didn't issue a check because I don't get anything,
How much was it for?
$35. But if I issue a check and the auditors say, well, you issued a check, but there's no receipt, it means nothing.
See, it's like, I couldn't find
I
the
saw
secret.
you.
I just sent an email, as long as you get something on paper, right?
I know.
Yes.
Jan, I asked Jan if she had a copy of it, and she said no. Anyway,
You might want to take the letter that you create and play it by Laura.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah, it's a really good idea.
They were very clear on the wording of this thing.
what
Okay.
about this one side isn't symmetrical?
I don't know how this slipped through.
Great.
How could,
And
I don't,
you're dealing with cut.
how can they
rate.
change stuff down there and not
They're
tell
always
us?
gonna be perfectly.
Do you know, because there was a
Concord.
concern at the cemetery gate that it's not quite symmetrical or
Yeah.
something? And that, Bertie was gonna, talk, she did talk about one side or
All right, here we go.
Posts are not even.
something here.
Yep,
Posts are not even.
Yep.
In my opinion, the gate swings the wrong way.
yep,
And it's nowhere near high enough because if
Yep.
the ground heaves or there's any
Yep.
ice buildup, they're never gonna.
yep, that's why I don't want to pay the bill. Yep,
Yeah, I would say that it needs to be moved back and the gates need to be mounted on the other side of those posts.
I believe they had stakes in the ground back further where they wanted the gate, but I think they used the free hole that they might have had.
Yeah, possibly. wherever they put it is, it just needs to be back further, because right now you'd have a hard time pulling in there and opening the gates towards the vehicle.
So that's why I didn't want to pay that bill.
I won't pay it, I'll hold it for sure.
Just my opinion, but.
You're not alone, and I think Dave Newman was going to tackle it too.
Ryan saw these two.
I'm not sure.
Yep, Ed did.
Yes.
So-
All right, so Joanne, when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay. So what I did was I did a spreadsheet. I filled in the figures that I have received so far. And then I figured we can write in. And then I'll make a master and
Yep,
update it.
and just date, make sure that you keep putting new dates on them,
Yes,
because they keep changing, and we,
yes, yes.
Lose track.
Thought we could maybe fill in, well, anyway.
well, let's do some simple ones.
Okay,
On the first page,
yep.
With the budget, Selectmen?
well,
Say that again.
okay, well, it's going to be a tough one, but let's do it. Here's my issue with the selectmen.
Okay.
We got a bridge over down on Sanford Road. Going to cost about $10,000 to fix the bridge that's failed. It's a pedestrian bridge.
Again?
I mean, again.
It's the second pedestrian bridge.
It's in 50 years, fella.
It's not been there 50 years.
I was on it. Let me tell you, it is
Shaking.
barely passed the stress test.
It's,
Kidding me.
the substructure of it is good, there's two big I-beams there. When they built it, they put pressure-treated wood on top of the I-beams to nail the decking to, and that has failed, so it's rotten. Nothing really holds the decking on there very well.
The pressure treated failed?
Yeah, I think actually what it was there was a point in time where they went away from the arsenic-based ground contact pressure-treated lumber, and what they used was very substandard. That was all that was available at the time. It's nobody's fault other than the federal government, but the wood they use now is much
I
better.
remember that.
So, well, with that is, that's not road work,
That's-
that's
Wouldn't that be,
It's town property, right?
town property work.
yeah.
And is that under selectmen?
Wouldn't that be under government building?
No, it's government buildings.
Okay,
4194.
so fine, so let's look at the selectmen's
All right.
executive then.
That's what should go on there.
So let me ask Joanne, just to make, the number 2346 is a good number then?
Well, it's only for Civics Plus. Now, is the other IT money in that, is that for, what's his name? John? Cybertron, thank you.
He doesn't want
No, I know, well, I'm saying that we budgeted $5,000, we've spent $1,360, but I'm saying that in that 5,000, is it Civic Plus and John?
Well, let me ask this,
Yeah.
under treasurer, there's 5,000 for IT computers.
I know, oh, that's for my software, every year.
So I think where we're at is we gotta put software for the treasurer, software for you,
And Karen,
I'm sorry,
Avatar.
that treasurer.
Yeah,
The software in the appropriate budget.
yes.
I think we wanna take all the IT costs and put them in one place.
Makes,
Well, mine is like for any upgrades, okay, and then I'm sure Avatar has one, and I'm sure Karen's, Clerkworks has one, a yearly maintenance fee.
That's not John, that is just.
you know, that's why I think department-specific software upgrades should be left in the department.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I thought you were saying otherwise.
No,
Okay.
put what's appropriate for each department, software-wise they keep.
Okay,
For
okay.
the infrastructure,
Yeah.
we put that one place on our budget.
Infrastructure should be, yeah, here, like, so whatever
Is it-
John does to maintain our hard drives, our mainframe hard drive. Yeah, we should put that in one spot.
Because
Okay.
under general buildings, you have telephone, internet, you have website support.
That's software. What's the
That's,
one?
that's page 5, under the buildings.
So
So under the town, under Selectmen, do you want to leave that town contract IT?
Well, we have to change the number.
Well, Civic Plus, and then
That's the website.
that's the website.
We own that. That's
So
ours.
anything with, you want to add any more to that for
To
John?
John, yeah.
And I don't have a clue,
Only at $10,000.
10,000?
10,000.
To the, okay, so make it,
Here's what we gotta do.
yeah,
We're not secure with respect to our network yet.
right.
And we're vulnerable with,
Well, this should be non-public if it's about security of your internet.
yeah, it is. So
Tell the world.
we should leave 10,000 in there because we have a little work to do yet on some security issues.
So what do you want me to make that line? 10,000 for?
Town IT contracts?
For the IT contracts?
You have
wanna
town-
make it-
There's two. There's hardware and software with John, and then there's Civic Plus.
Mhm. So do you want to make it
Can we split it into two?
2 figures again?
And two different line items?
2 line items? Oh, okay, sure. So add a line,
Yeah.
so add one for John,
Employ, and that would be
10,000,
infrastructure,
okay,
and the other one is the website.
Yeah,
okay.
that works.
Okay.
And do 10 for the infrastructure?
10 for infrastructure and leave the Civic Plus, that was the figure that they
Yep.
sent us, okay, okay.
And the rest is, I'm okay with the rest, right?
Yeah, the rest is fine. It's,
You want to,
secretary's a little high, but I don't know, she's been on and off.
well, I didn't put anything in for any of the salaries yet, I thought.
No, the salaries, we're gonna have to talk about salaries in December.
Yeah,
Yes, Greg?
On civicware, we might anticipate an increase. I still haven't, it's my fault, I haven't followed through on discussing with the appropriate person storing the digital images in the cloud for the town record books. So somebody would go to our website, they decide they want to look at town record book number 1, they would click on it and it would take them, link them to the storage in the cloud because Civicware cannot handle the size of those files. That's why we're still waiting on John to set up those 2, it's a total of 4 terabytes on the server where all those images are going to be stored for safety reasons.
So you owe us a number.
I owe you a number, and I will try to get that in the next month.
Thank you.
okay. And so you want me to add another line to that for,
Or would it just be added to the 10,000?
That would be part of the 10,000. Well, is it hardware? We don't know yet.
No,
Let him come
it
back
would
and see what it
be
is.
Ed probably knows the better term, software, iCloud, for storage with a link on the website.
The software
Yeah,
and the hardware.
Get a description and we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
okay.
So that number's up a lot.
What, are you okay with, you want to leave the contingency at 5,000?
Yep, I think so.
Okay,
Yeah, that makes sense.
okay.
Yep.
Okay. Next one is 4140. That's the town clerk effectively.
Yeah, she gave me her budget. She said that
Sit down.
because,
For the software.
yeah,
Okay.
she is going to add, I think it's motorcycles and something else that made it go up to 2,500 for the clerk works, but she's still down from,
Fine, I'm
Cool, isn't it?
okay with that line.
okay,
Well, there's nothing here, this local IT support, we said we're gonna put,
right.
break it down by department, right?
Well,
Well,
yes,
she's got clerk works, right, 2,500, which is software.
so as far as IT
Oh, okay,
support,
I didn't realize
That's her
So
software.
this line item for the local IT support.
be 0 because it'll be coming out of the
Out
10.
of the 10 we'll get it.
Yeah, so we get rid of that whole
All right,
line.
I got it.
Okay. Okay.
Supervisor, list.
Yeah, they're saying 4 elections, so they bumped that up quite a bit.
Yep. That's the way it is. 4 elections, just think it's 4 times what we.
Every year it's the same deal.
Because public notices, they put 0 because they're using the, putting it on the web and.
The web and the boards.
Yeah, so-
Good, found it.
Yep.
Okay. Elections, I didn't get anything from them. Moderator, he doesn't want any money for doing what he does. He donates it, so, I mean, we could put, with 4 elections, we're still gonna have election workers.
So, yeah, I was gonna ask you, what do we pay our election workers? You have to look at the records.
Yeah, well, we spent $300 this year.
So 4 times that,
I'm talking 1,200.
1,200.
Yeah.
4 elections,
Okay.
plus his, right? So he had,
Yeah,
although the number becomes 1,200.
yeah, let's put 1,200.
Yep.
Okay.
I think the others, rather than zeroing out, I think it should be
Put $1.
$1 in them anyway, right?
Yeah, $1 is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another rule. If the line item is 0, you can't spend any money. If it's 1, we can move money into the accounts.
Right,
Yeah.
right, that's what it's.
Yeah, same with the school board.
So what about their dues and workshop? He didn't put any, you want me to leave it at 100 there?
I have 1 in.
Put it one.
Put a 1. Okay. Great.
Yeah, on the elections,
Yeah,
I believe you pay the ballot counters.
yeah, we do.
I would recommend that you increase it to 1,500 because you're going to have an extensive primary
Yeah, you're right.
with incredible number of candidates running, which slows down the whole process. And then it's a presidential election. I think we can anticipate it being a huge turnout and lots of counters to be able to handle that.
I thought the primary was this year. Fine, make it.
I'm trying not to say what I
Ah,
have to
go
say.
ahead, the camera's on, the camera. So we, Chris.
Anyways,
There is
I
more
think
later this year.
you're gonna have
A lot
more
more
expense than based on the town meeting last year.
That's fine.
And we can argue that.
Yeah.
We can argue that. We don't know, we have to anticipate.
Okay. So treasurer is down. The audit would be, this is the 3rd year of the audit contract, so it would be 9,000 again.
How many years is that gonna go for?
We had a 3-year contract. This will be, in '24 will be the 3rd year.
So it should be,
And then, yeah.
unless we extend it
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
Okay.
Tax collector, pretty much the same.
Well,
Isn't there an audit of the tax collector
There
with
will
the
be,
change?
yes, there will be.
that the well was about,
Yeah,
well,
so should we put that included in the audit contract, or do you want a separate line for tax collector?
the law says if we change tax collectors, we have to audit the tax collector books. And the estimate was $500.
Right,
Where do we want to put it in there?
I put it in tax collector.
okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because then we know what it's for and why it's spending that extra money.
Okay. And she hasn't officially given,
Nope.
okay, all right. Okay. Assessor clerk, I have nothing from them.
Yep.
I don't know what.
So I'll give you some stuff.
Okay.
Everything's,
Oh, didn't ZBA want, I'm sorry, just about the thoughts in my head, didn't ZBA want books? They wanted hardcover books, remember that in ZBA? Everyone wanted the books from the state.
Oh, yeah. Are those, that's by the New Hampshire Municipal Association, do we actually have to buy those?
Yeah.
Or is that something that they give to them?
I think we have to buy those.
we buy for the planning board a set of books. It costs us about $80 for the whole set.
Oh, is that all it is? Like, I wasn't sure how much it was.
So we're gonna put that on the ZBA?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
It's all
totally throw it, I just, while it was in my head,
If it's the same books, it's the land use.
more or less, yeah, I think it's exactly.
The tax,
Where is that line item going?
We'll put that under ZBA. when we get to it.
ZBA.
We're not,
All right.
yeah, we're right now, we're on page 3.
Yeah, I just jumped away out of the loop.
Okay.
so everything, here's what I'm wrestling with. We're doing an townwide assessment next year. Contract says $32,000.
And that's gonna be for a half or quarter, or
We have,
That's, the town's gonna be reassessing this year,
for the whole time?
whole town.
so would that be under capital outlay?
No.
It's
that's-
gonna come under assessing.
That's assessing, so. Plus he has to do. I make the number 50,000, the assessing contract,
Okay.
and then we'll pull both of the
Revenue.
money out of the
Yeah.
trust fund.
Yeah, the trust has got to,
I think there's 37 or something like that.
we've been hitting it every year, so it's got to be close to that, right?
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then trustees of the trust fund. Well, that's good. They
So
don't
the
want-
rest of the assessing you're gonna give to me later?
That's it, right there,
Yeah, but what about all the clerk and?
right there. Those numbers are fine.
Yeah, just roll those right over.
Roll them over.
Is tax max, why is tax max meeting so off right now?
Because, well, I was gonna ask Joanne, we signed
I
the
just-
contract tonight for, we signed the bill tonight for 3,000.
3,000, yeah.
But during the year, we was spending,
We've been spending some money. I'll have to pull those out and see what it is.
well, I know what it is.
You do,
When we went to GIS,
right?
the bill
The
was
mapping.
supposed to be 3,000 a year plus a little more.
Yep, for the map.
We never got billed for the 3,000 until just now.
Yeah.
As part of the GIS conversion.
So do you want to bump that up to 4,000 to cover, will the GIS be an ongoing fee
Yeah,
3,000.
every year.
in addition to that?
No, I believe it's supposed to be 3,000.
Okay.
Yeah, flat, I think we should be good.
So
Okay.
that should be 3.
Okay.
All right, so, that's,
Trustees, they didn't want any salary.
yeah, that's fine.
So I'll put $1 there. They did want some dues and workshop money.
Yeah, they wanted to double up, because they wanted a couple extra workshops, so.
Excellent.
Legal relief,
I think the legal, I don't know. I think,
Well, I don't know if what we talked about in the ZBA was getting our council to present a workshop to the members of the ZBA. So I don't know if that was going to legal, if that was going to the ZBA budget, on public hearings and the whole the process.
we could put some money in there, but I would sure like to see them use the free resources first. There's all kinds of free resources out there
Yeah.
before we pull in Laura.
And they're reading, I mean, the resources that we got are the books.
Well, no, you got the municipal association. You can go to their website, they'll run courses for you.
NHMA.
Okay.
NHMA, go
Yeah.
under there and look under training or under, there's a.
We should have access to that.
Okay.
And
Take a look
you
under
just-
there and-
If not, I can help you with that.
And we can download the reports or you can see webinars there.
They were real good.
They've got a couple on land use,
They
you're
do.
talking land use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when they've exhausted those, if we have to bring Laura in, that would be, so we can put money in there, but before we do it, I think we should,
Mhm.
Yep.
so she gets $300 an hour, so you want $1,000.
You can chew that up in no time.
So yeah, travel, she gets travel in.
Yep.
So if you want to put it in there for training, you gotta, where would you put it?
ZBA dues and workshops,
Yeah, I'd put 1,000 in there then,
so I'll make it $1,400 there.
yeah. If they, you can't, you gotta train the people.
Okay.
No, it's 3 out of the 5 are brand new.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta run the education.
Yeah.
Planning board, you're okay with
They
that?
gave us, theirs, right? There's no change?
Yep, no change. So ZBA, we're okay with,
Well, the ZBA we just changed, right?
yes,
Yeah, we
yes,
changed dues and
yes.
workshops to 1,000.
But public notices, would they need, oh, that's when they have to do a mailing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that seems high, I think we could knock that down to $400
What, for the,
for the public
okay,
notices.
Remember, we're reimbursed on them, but we have to spend them.
Yeah, but we don't want to spend that much.
Okay, I mean, just a crapshoot.
So which one are you talking about, Jamie? Public notice?
ZBA, public notices under ZBA, 400.
Changing that to
400 instead of 8.
8, okay.
You just look at expenses too, we can always drop it back
Yeah.
in there if we go over.
Yeah,
You wanted to put something, oh, we just did, we did training.
we
Yeah, we
added
did.
1,000.
Right.
Okay. Okay, general government buildings, next page.
Okay. So that's where a $10,000 bridge repair would go.
Yeah, building and grounds, right?
Which one was that, Rich?
4194 building and grounds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What you
So
said?
how much do you want to add there?
Just want to make it an even 10.
No, it's gonna be a $10,000 increase if we're gonna fix it.
What, based on what?
An estimate. We got an estimate. Ballpark estimate.
That's what I'm saying, why don't we just go to 10 even, because we still got, we got building maintenance, we got all the other.
113.
The estimate, Chris took a look at it. He said the time and material would be $10,000 to fix the bridge.
Yeah.
So make that line 13, or do you want to leave it at 10?
Just wondering, what else do we have to do around
What
here?
else, that's the question, what else is coming at us?
All right, let's think about this building. Is there anything that, or how about carpet? Are we okay? on
I think we just leave the carpet as is, man.
What about some new chairs?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just gonna be, yeah.
No?
Chris has got an idea how to spend money.
Yeah, I think the grounds maintenance around here is severely lacking, so you got a bunch of dead trees all the way around the property. The leach field was cut once this year, but that should be maintained every year. This tree out here in front of the building needs some serious pruning. You can't even plow snow past it without getting wound up in it. It sticks out completely into the driveway now. So,
Our dogwood?
yeah.
We should take care of that now because, I mean, we have money.
That's where we're putting the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the more reason we should trim it.
We should do it out of this year's budget.
But it's too, see, we just set the tax rate. We counted on us spending all this money now, and now you're spending it here for the
Well,
tax
no,
rate.
but we have, our budget's
You-
good though.
You should have said that before.
Well-
We didn't use it all, Rich,
No.
there's still a little bit of margin.
We told them.
I would also say, if you're interested in getting rid of that building out there, that's another
Good
thing to
point.
consider.
The building, never get rid of that piece.
We've got money in trust funds for like a whole bunch of town building and grounds maintenance has $40,000 in it. Townhouse, well, we know what the townhouse repair is. Town garage and storage, $22,583.
That's the one off.
That's for the new building.
What? That's what, for our new building. And then there's town building office equipment, $5,132.
That's the chairs.
Yeah.
Chairs and
And
confidence.
forest fighting equipment, we have 10,000.
That's not for equipment. That's not for equipment.
Don't brag.
That's not for equipment.
Okay.
That's for labor.
Again?
All right, so,
All right,
so,
I'm just letting you know that there's money there.
so remember, we have to put warrant articles in to pull that money out.
That's right. I'm just saying that, you know,
So let's not forget that side of the equation.
right.
So we had $3,000 in there. We talked about trees, $500 a tree, $1,000 a tree.
Yeah, probably more than 1,500 a tree hours. I'm
Man.
just guessing.
Yeah, I mean, it's about, your guess is better than my guess.
You're talking about around the perimeter, you're not talking about the
Yeah,
dogwood, right?
well, like, so there's some ash trees that are dead right on the property. I think they're mostly on this side. Those big pine trees where the handicap parking sign is, I mean, those shouldn't be there. I mean, if you want to have a parking area and you want to put somebody there that is less capable of walking, you're going to be parking them in an icy, dark hole covered with pine, pitch and pine needles, in the winter especially.
So
Our horrible gravel parking lot, man.
I got you, I heard you.
I mean, we have,
For 20 years now, he's been wanting to pay.
Yeah, I've given up on it
Good.
now. I've given up.
Good. So it sounds,
I'd like to see it paid too, but.
Yeah.
I mean, there's money in Chris's budget, this summer maintenance and winter maintenance. I mean, we could take care of that this year, the trees, instead of putting it in another, because our budget next year is going to be a little, I'm just suggesting. There is money there.
so,
Yeah.
I'd have to,
Chris, would you do it or would you sub it out
I'd have to look closely and make that decision.
on the trees?
Yeah.
I mean, Joanne makes a good point. If we can do it this year,
We should do it out of this year's budget.
What about time-wise? I mean,
Well,
it's probably a good time of year, you're sort of in between seasons, right?
Yeah, I'll take a look at it this week, and, you know, if it's not something that I can or want to do, I'll at least get an estimate from somebody and see if they can do it. I'll get a few of them.
Okay.
A few estimates.
So we're still on that line item, we're talking
Repairs.
maybe 10,000 for that bridge if we want to do it.
Do we want to keep the 10 out of the trust? And do it that way?
I don't want to do that. Here's my thoughts on that, you're jumping ahead. This building's out of space. We got some money there that we can use for a new building. An addition, I think an addition out back. I don't think we want to use it for the bridge.
Okay.
Where is this? I'm not
Bridge.
familiar with it,
And you go over, you know where Sanborn Road is?
yeah.
Go down where the new barn is, very nice new barn.
Yep.
You go down that road, there's a little dirt road that goes down towards the brook. There's a pedestrian bridge there. Used to be
Cuts through.
Oh,
Take
Used to
Government's
be
Road.
a real bridge, Craig,
Oh,
these guys can tell you the history.
I used to drive over it.
Yeah.
We actually have some nice photos. I think we have photos of the old bridge, but also back in 92, 93, when when it was decided to switch it to a pedestrian bridge because the other bridge failed. The original plan, there were people in town that wanted to do it themselves and put in just an old-fashioned plank bridge. And that never flew. So it went back and forth for quite a while. My question is it so dangerous for bicycles, pedestrians, and then snowmobiles in winter that it needs to be shut down? Or is it not dangerous yet? Just getting there.
I think it had a couple of soft boards. Did you like put something on top of those?
No, we did some, replaced the worst of the rotten boards, and just my opinion, it's okay at the moment, but it should be taken care of in the next year or so.
So you're saying we could leave it open and let the snowmobiles use it this year?
I think so at the moment. I mean, I'll keep an eye on it also. It gets used every day too, so I'm sure we'll get feedback from.
Do people walk it? Yeah. It's the good loop.
So do you want to put 10,000 in there to repair the footbridge next year?
What I would do is put 13. If we get the trees done this year, drop it down to 10.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's going to be repairs to buildings and ground?
Yep.
The bridge.
No,
It's just a single board.
that's going to,
No support.
it's really talking about doing 7
Well, that's why I was saying.
for the bridge, because you already got 3,000 in
So
there.
we just spent the 3 on the trees.
Okay.
If we get the trees out of this year's budget, we can bring the number down, but we've got so much to talk about. We're gonna take that shed down?
Right.
It hasn't been cleared out yet, it's not.
What?
You know what I'm talking about. There's some highly sought after artifacts that are still up there, and we cannot destroy that.
The shed's coming down, Craig. Do you have any stuff in it?
I think the Heritage Commission is on top of that.
Oh, they are?
What's in there are the original wainscot from the Churchill Schoolhouse, so they'd be dated roughly 1801, 1802. And they show, besides being part of the original building, they show the outline of the wooden school desks that were built up against the wainscoting. I mean, they're precious. I don't know what they're going to do with them, where they would put them for storage, but the boards are 225 years old, roughly.
And they talked about
they're the
storing.
original structure.
So you have to talk to them at the Heritage Commission.
I did. Yeah,
Did?
I did. I said this stuff's gonna be cleared, and they want to take those out, and they think they can store them in Virginia's old office.
No.
No. I think
they're
that.
too tall.
Yes.
Literally to go in.
They're too long.
So I just said, well, sooner or later they gotta go, and they can't be outside, if they do, it's gonna rot.
We have another building there, though.
Guess we could throw them in there.
We could build some shelves and put them on racks.
You talking about the shed?
No, the garage.
The white building, the garage?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna take that down.
The one behind it.
Oh.
That
Isn't
one's
that where
closed.
our sand is for the winter?
Yeah, we're gonna build a little like sand shed type, thingamajig, just to kind of keep the public out of the DPW side of the files.
So that, we got a lot of things planned for grounds and buildings.
One other thing that just made me think of it is the personnel door and the overhead door out there are not in the best of shape either, so if you're intending on keeping that building, that's probably another maintenance issue.
Yeah, we did a patchwork on the overhead a while ago, and the quote we got for a full new the overhead was not cheap.
Yeah.
Because it was gonna be like aluminum or something like that, and all new tracks and opener and all that jazz was. No, we would have just bite what we can shoot. We don't want us to,
Yeah.
I think we need to make a list of what we know needs. to be
priority
done.
projects versus
Yeah.
if the bridge needs to get done.
Okay, so we got.
Trees have to come down.
Trees.
They're gonna get blown down, they're dead.
Oh yeah, no, they're looking pretty ready.
I say we do the trees this year.
But we get the tree, if the trees can get done this year, then all the better.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Has there been a discussion as to the reason why we would retain the cement block garage other than for storage? I mean, is there any reason why
Just like the steel building.
garage with the overhead door?
We don't have any
the other-
storage. We have no storage. Zero.
It's a good shape, it's a good building, it's in good shape, new roof on it. It's sound, I'd hate to get rid of it just because it's there, I disagree, it's not the most attractive building.
It was built in '76, I believe.
Yeah, remember it
It was
was,
a large federal grant.
oh, okay.
And they built that, they put the bathrooms and the heat in the townhouse in the Churchill School. They made Virginia's office a vault, fireproof vault, and there were some other things. I have the specs that came from the federal government about the grant, and I know the name of the contractor who ended up doing our work, but I don't have the list of what exactly they did, except that that was built
That was part of it.
at that time.
Yeah, I remember talking about that a while ago, I remember it was something like that.
Dave Toll would probably know, if anybody in town does, about all of that, because he would have been involved with the townhouse and school as well, I think.
Quick aside, he knows about snow machines on Tumble Down Dig Road. He knows.
I talked to
Okay.
them about it.
Okay, because, I grabbed him, because he knew too, he knew. Okay, so,
Do you want to table that one for now and think it through? 'Cause
Yep.
We're kind of
And think
making
about,
it,
and think about if there's anything else we're not,
yep,
coming up.
And I'm sure it's out there.
Yeah.
We just
right.
haven't thought of it yet.
the town cemetery, did you get that from them?
No, no, I didn't get anything from them.
I'll talk to them. Then we have Craig's area.
Are you gonna have?
What isn't on that is I took the last two books that cover basically the Civil War period, and then, so that one book begins in 1862, the other begins in 1872, I think it is. I took them down last week and picked up the two books that were done 2022 and 2023. So before the end of November, we will have an estimate for what we've done with all the books, the digitalization, and in this case, the rebinding. So I'll have that figure for you.
So we'll have to increase that, you mean?
I'm sorry?
So we'll be increasing that, your,
Not necessarily.
no, okay,
We did the expensive books this year.
okay,
Right.
So
okay,
not necessarily.
okay.
So you owe us that number.
Actually, no, this year we did one of the least expensive.
Yeah, we did the smaller one.
It was like
It
$5,000, I think.
Yeah, it was,
700.
it was small and it wasn't in bad shape. That was the one we decided to do.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get us numbers.
Yes, I will have numbers from Northeast Document Conservation. And the other books are back.
So we jumped to forestry.
Yeah.
Well, we know the truck's gonna be zero now.
Pardon me?
We know the truck's zero now, right?
Brad said he was gonna give me some figures this week.
Yeah, yeah.
No, we're gonna talk about this.
They're already in there, no? There's 3 of them, right?
Yeah. I think we got them.
Yeah, I do too.
000 or 111.
You know, just want to do a simple forestry expense sign up for like a bunch of bucks. Well, let's let him get what he wants.
Yeah.
But we know the truck is gone. Well, this truck's supposed to get sold, right?
He wants to replace it.
Well, we ain't replacing the truck. I can say that with high degree of certainty in my world.
Okay, we're together. So he might need some money for forestry expenses, that would be,
Yeah, I'd say do the couple $100 for forestry expenses and
that should be more than adequate. Okay, you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm
okay with that.
yeah, then just
So roll over the figures? Roll them over the same?
No, we're not gonna have $300 for truck maintenance. It's gonna be
I would
zero.
put $1 in the truck maintenance just in
Yeah.
case something, let's say, in order to sell it, we have to do something, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, but I would find that money out of the selectmen.
But at least put $1 so we can at least
Yeah.
put money in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not bad, it's,
And what about forestry expenses? You wanna leave it at 200?
Yeah.
That could be labor,
Okay,
if there's a fire.
yeah. Okay. All right, building, CEO.
Oh, that's a whole now, that's a whole new can of
When
worms.
when did you provided a letter of resignation?
Yep, right here someplace. Yep, December 31st. So, we should advertise it. Cassandra's not coming in, I think she's sick, he said.
Well, I don't know if she's coming in tomorrow. She was sick on Sunday. Sunday. she was sick.
Yeah, because tomorrow's a normal day.
Right.
Yeah, we've done this road before, it's hard to find anyone.
Okay, we'll have to talk about that one, because we don't know what it's gonna cost us.
Now that number could be, go either way.
No, she's sick.
Okay.
We do have the person that was doing the code enforcement for Nick's projects. You can ask him.
Yeah, we have to put it out there, let's see if there's anybody else, but yes, I think he might be a resource. I don't know what he charges. I have no idea, right?
How about emergency management?
Pardon me?
Emergency management?
The $5,000 that we always put in,
Why?
we don't do it, we're supposed to get grant money back, we never do the thing, we never get the grant money, we don't do it.
Isn't this for that, didn't you form an emergency management?
It was for that book, that plan we have to do,
Hazard mitigation.
the hazard mitigation plan.
Was that, were we supposed to be billed from Wakefield or anything for that? Who were we paying that to?
Oh, that's what, we piggybacked
With
on
Wakefield?
Wakefield, and we never got billed. They just needed like a couple of us to attend a couple of meetings, and I attended one, and I think Rick attended one
I
or
think
two.
so, yeah.
Rick ran that.
Yeah, that's why we don't know what happened.
Should we put it in or not? Is it an annual thing?
No, it's like money is supposed to flip. We're supposed to put $5,000 in the budget, spend it, and then we're supposed to get it back from the federal government via a grant that we invest enough man hours into, and it works out.
So right now, there's nothing
Spent.
in 24 that would trigger us to say we're gonna need that $5 grand, right?
Unless we get a bill for the work that was done last year.
Right.
They're still lingering, we don't know.
Why don't we put $1 on it, and just in case that bill does come through?
You know, we may need to.
The risk with doing that is every time we put $1, we want to move money in later. We have to find that money.
It was gonna come out of
It's It's easier to put the 5,000 in, try to explain it, get some data, and say take it to zero, because then you can reduce your tax rate. Otherwise, you're pinched.
You want it in or out?
Is it worth making a call to Wakefield? And
I can check if you want.
Yeah, why not? I think
Is
we-
that stirring the pot though?
No, I think we gotta check, because we should have a copy of the plan.
Okay,
'Cause
yep,
we don't even have a copy of it.
that's right.
So, you know.
Yep.
Let's
Yep.
bite the bullet,
I'll
find
check
out.
with Tony.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're ready to check on that?
Yep, yep. Okay, then we go to Chris's.
Well, we could do that, Chris is here, we'll do it now.
I would say, I think the numbers are okay to carry over,
Okay,
with one exception. I think there should be an annual amount for paving or asphalt maintenance. That should be separate. And I don't know what that number can be, but in order just to maintain what's there, I would think $100,000 is not a crazy number because,
Are you talking like coal patch, you talking about
no,
oil and sand?
no, talking about maintenance of all the asphalt surfaces. There's a limited lifespan to it, so if you set aside so much money a year, and I'm not saying like we used to do, put money away for a rainy day, that kind of thing. I'm saying an annual number for that to maintain the surface. So we paved some this year, that's great, but we gotta keep doing that in order just to keep up. We're so far behind now that, you know, these projects are gonna be a little bit on the larger side, but if we can get ahead of it just a tiny bit, maybe we can find a more economical way of doing it, like the chip seal that I talked about. I forgot to bring the paper, but you're looking at about $70,000 to do, I think we looked at doing Moose Mountain Road, Tumble Down Dick, the asphalt on that, and going over Clark Road because that's had nothing done to it since it was paved, and it's kind of overdue. If you, give you an example, if you drive down the roads, for whatever reason, if you don't do this, the center of the road where that seam is in the asphalt starts to open up because it's not sealed off. And the typical crack sealing could help that, but what you normally would do is when you originally pave it with that more coarse aggregate on the gravel, when you initially pave it, it's coarse aggregate asphalt, so it's somewhat porous. In a year or two, you come back and overlay that with a much finer aggregate so that it sheds the water better. The chip seal would kind of take the place of that overlay and buy you 5 to 7 years. But it can only be done if the asphalt's in good condition. The chip seal doesn't help you if it's already broken up and in bad shape, so. I don't know if it's possible to do that, you know, either put in a line, or we just have to take it out of the other projects and whatever, but it's something that should be done just to maintain what we have. And that doesn't include fixing any problems, that's just maintenance.
I think what I would suggest is we put a line item in for paving. We put $1 in it. And then we have a trust fund contribution of $150,000 that the selectmen are agents to expend. So if we get the paving work and we want to do it, we can spend the money where the dollar is. If we don't do the paving, we accumulate a little bit for future work because it's in a trust fund.
That's fine.
You understand what?
Yeah, because the problem is that we leave in the regular budget, we don't use it.
That's right.
so you're saying,
Yeah, well, just like you were saying with the last discussion about the 5,000, there's not a chance you wouldn't use it in this case because the maintenance has to get done. So it's just whatever that number wants to be. You know, whatever you can set as a budget number for that.
Can we spend 150?
Oh, you can spend that real easy, you know, pretty much every year just to maintain, you know.
The risk is if we put it in the operating, we don't spend it, we effectively lose it.
Yeah.
If we put it into the trust fund, we don't spend it, the taxes have been hit, and it's in the bank.
And that's fine too, I'm just saying this, it's not a question of will it get spent, it definitely will.
If we're gonna go through that kind of money on a regular basis, why don't we take the best of both worlds and put a line item to contribute to the trust fund? X number of dollars.
It would be a warrant article, wouldn't it?
And if you end up spending it, you're gonna take it out of the existing trust fund and you'll replenish partial. I'm not saying all of it. But if he thinks he's gonna spend $100,000, we'll put 50 in the trust fund. Put a $1 line item out there and we'll take the 50 we put in and then another 50. I don't know how much we've got on the trust fund now, but.
Zero.
Oh, I thought we
We
had.
took it down to zero, almost zero last year.
Oh, okay.
So there's zero in the bank.
All right, so that doesn't really work so well. Although, if you do put it in the trust fund, and then you don't use it, you're not gonna lose it.
That's my,
Right.
it's like, yeah.
Question, I guess now, how much do we want to put in? You want to put in the full 100,000 he's talking about, or do we want to?
In the past, we put away 100,000 every year, and we fall behind.
Right, inflation eats it up.
And work, we can't get, and the road work, we can't keep up. We've been putting 100,000 in there for a long time. We've never increased it. So I'd go to 150. We'll put $1 here, 150 into the trust fund. We can pull it out if we want to move forward, and if we don't, we start accumulating again. So that means we have a warrant article to put 150 in.
Okay.
Okay, I want to point out that for the summer maintenance, that $93,498, that included the deferred revenue we had from last year that we didn't get, that the state gave us at the end of the year was $49,000 or something. So do you want to change that figure?
Well, we spent 90,000, didn't we?
No, we've only spent 35 and 38. 35 we approved tonight for the,
Oh, so it's 35 plus the 49 a year, okay, I thought.
so you know what I'm saying, that 93,000 that we budgeted included the deferred revenue from previous, last year.
Right.
Yeah,
We just put 34 on top of 38. Tonight we put another 30.
yeah, 35, that's correct, we did.
So that's up to, whatever, that's 80
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
That line item says material for paving, and that was all the prep work we used to do.
Well, it's actually, that line is materials like the gravel,
Yeah, that's
culvert,
true.
stuff like that.
That he's done.
And I think the reason it says paving was only added because of that deferred money, right?
Right,
Okay.
right, because the other 200,000 that we took out of, that's under repairs to town roads under capital outlay. So,
So what do you need for material?
I think the number that we were at 60, I think, was what we had
yeah,
budgeted for on the summer materials.
so put it at 60, or you want to go higher?
Yeah, I think 60 is okay.
Okay,
That's material.
Just
Yeah.
materials.
yeah,
And your charge is the 150?
I think that would be okay.
Okay. And then we'll go down to snow. Here's the crapshoot, right? Who knows?
Yeah, well, that number, you just don't know. I mean, could go way over that, it may not come close to it. There's just no way of knowing.
Okay, so why don't we just
leave that.
leave it? Yeah.
And what about the materials for the snow and ice and salt?
I think that number's fine too.
Okay,
They're gonna follow each other. The
Yeah.
more snow you have, the more
Yeah.
material you're gonna need.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
The only other thing is the bridge, whatever
famous
happens to happen.
bridge, the famous
Yeah.
Moose Mountain
Moose
Bridge.
Moose Mountain Bridge.
I did meet with a contractor about doing some work there, and I think there's a possibility of getting it done fairly reasonably. They talked about these bags of grout that you put in there, and then you pump more grout in, and it expands and fills the space. So It's not a super intensive process.
So what we should do is put a line item in with $1, we have money in the trust fund, wages to expend, and if we want to, we put $1 in for bridge maintenance. And if we need to pull the money out of the trust fund,
Yeah.
if we want to move forward.
So if we pull money out of trust fund, if it's not in our budget, but you can pull it out and spend it?
If
that
we
how
have
that
$1 here,
Yeah.
we can take money out of the trust fund
Yeah.
and spend it.
Okay,
As long as we're ages to expend.
Yeah, use it for the purpose intended, so.
okay.
And I want to wrap this up on this page. There's only one other item I had that I want to make a comment on, and that was the Meals on Wheels. Remember we got, it's picky. Meals on Wheels, they want us to pay $1,000. If you look at the way they distribute the costs among 3 towns, our share should be 7%, but they round us up to 1,000. And the other 2 towns, Wolfboro and Tuftonboro, they round down. So we're the smallest participant, and if you really do it based upon usage, our number should be $500. Based upon usage. Remember I showed you that letter, Joanne?
Yeah.
We can pull it out, you can see the percentages. You can't justify it at 1,000, it should be 500 based upon usage.
I go to 1,000. I
It
mean,
should be 500.
go to religion.
All right, and then we'll pull the numbers, I mean, you look at them, and they gave us the data, and the data says 500 is the right number.
Yeah.
500?
It's not big bucks, but it's the principle of the thing.
Do you want to keep the direct welfare at 10?
Yes, yes, we always do. Enough for tonight, guys?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm faded.
So how much more do we have to do?
We have the agencies, which
Supposed to be easy.
you got to make a decision about the Gaffney Library, which I put the 18 in.
You what?
I put the 18.
Which one was that?
The Gaffney Library.
Oh, what? Oh.
Page 8. Page 8.
See, this was the special interest group for the library tonight. We have special interest groups for all parts of the budget. Right? That's the beauty of it. So the next time we get to a special interest group, we'll bring out the chairs again for that special interest group. Pretty bold to go to 18. Pretty bold. Okay. Anything else?
I'm good.
Then we're going to adjourn.
Okay.
I think we're okay with the meeting on the 3rd,
Okay. No,
the 7th,
the 31st.
The 7th.
the 7th.
7th. Oh,
Yeah, I think it's fine.
what about payroll?
You still gotta do payroll.
I got to do payroll.
Well, we can come in and sign payroll.
Yeah, we can
Payroll's
do
payroll.
Payroll's
Yeah,
payroll.
just give us a heads up.
Yeah, we got,
So-
yeah, we're almost done, except for the tough ones.
Wow.
Fire department,
Stuff a lot out of our control.
and yeah, Kevin and Wakefield. I don't know how they stand.
I'll get in touch with you.
Yeah, they're always last minute.
Well, yeah.
Brian, can you ask the ZBA chair, I need to get all this material related to the hearing that you had and a printed decision.
It's right there.
It's in the book.
That's right there. I'm on the
The
ZBA.
book is not the archives. The archives needs to get an official copy signed in blue ink. I'm not getting it from anybody. There are very few people, I take it back.
You're getting it from the trustees of the trust funds. I know you get it.
From the
I got
planning
that.
board now.
I'm still waiting on 6 years that they're supposed to take from the Dropbox and put on a
I've heard about
flash
that.
drive.
I've heard about that.
But the ZBA cases have to be maintained separately in there with all the material, all the supporting material,
Okay.
any evidence that was presented, all of that is part of the case. We have all the cases in there from the day one of ZBA. It's a quasi-judicial decision. And I need the minutes from whatever meetings they've had.
Okay.
They've met 2 or 3 times, I think, besides the hearing.
Yeah, and those all should be in the book.
Yeah, but the book does not count for the archives, that's what I'm trying to
Like,
say.
we gotta make a fresh copy and sign it.
What we do on the planning board now
Yeah.
is we put a copy in there and a copy in the
In the
archives.
archives.
Right, and
In
there
there.
should be, I was just gonna add that too. We got everything in there, and there should be everything in.
You gotta make 2 copies now, 1, 2,
Right.
and he'll take care of booking it.
Yeah, because I can't take it out of there, that's for the public. I can take it out maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, But that's crazy. I should have it with it as soon as the period for appeal has ended, it goes into the archives.
Yeah, we gotta get on that.
No, I'm on the ZBA route, so I'll get that.
They just don't know. I'm telling you, the planning board didn't know, I'm sure the ZBA just doesn't know.
No, it escaped me just as soon as I said it, shit, I knew.
You done?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
We-
8:22.